It's 2 days before my intended departure from Albany to Karijini, and I've just taken all the covers off and done another final check of all systems, and we'll be ready to go Sunday morning. As I've mentioned before, I'm taking almost two of everything except for the rooftop tent. I've got two sort of methods of bedding, cooking equipment, all sorts of things. And this is only because, as I keep saying, this is basically a shakedown cruise to see whether this camper trailer idea is actually going to work for me. Well, it's Sunday the 29th of May 2022, and I've just left home and travelling along Frenchman's Bay Road here in Albany, on my way hopefully to my first stop, which is my normal stop, Karara-Walyi or Burabin. However, as you can probably see here, it's not torrential rain, but it's been a very rainy and it's also a windy day now, and I've noticed when I checked the road reports that my ultimate destination, north of my ultimate destination, which is Karijini, is potential roads are flooded up there because there's been a big storm come through, apparently. However, I've got 5 days to get to Karijini from here. It's about 1,800 kilometres, and I'm just going to see how things go today, and we'll keep you informed of progress as we go along. I already had one hitch as I was about to leave. I swapped my fridge in the back of this camper trailer from 240 volt to 12 volt, and it wouldn't turn on. So I don't know whether there's a loose connection. I managed to get it going eventually. Don't ask me how, but it's working now. So I still have at the moment 2 fridges, but I'll have to monitor that one as well. So all in all, it's not off to a very auspicious start, let's say. However, things can only improve, as they say. Now we're just coming up to Hanrahan Road, and there has been some big changes. This off to the left and the right is preparations being made now for the Albany Ring Road bypass. And they've knocked down all the trees on that intersection there. This project will last 2 years at least. To those of you who have seen my videos before, you should be accustomed to the fact that there's always a lot of road footage. I will try to keep it to a minimum, but I am told that people actually like seeing lots of roads, the ones who watch mine. And I'd also like to give a shout out to a fellow named Francisco San Diego, who comes from Imperial County in California, which is as part of it is the Salton Sea is within Imperial County, and Francisco always answers or makes comments on my videos. So, and where he lives is I believe very, very dry. It's a very dry area, which is a big contrast to what we're looking at right now. So hello Francisco, I hope you enjoy this one. I've been on the road for about an hour now. The weather hasn't improved. There's a hell of a wind out there, and it's I can feel it. I know that I'm actually towing a trailer, because when you go up the hills she slows down a lot. Anyway, we'll press on and see how far this rain just pulled up in this little roadside stop just to check that everything's okay. I've only done 88 kilometres since leaving home. There is a heck of a wind out here, and as I said before, I can really tell that I'm towing something. Anyway, we'll press on. There's a little bit of watery sun, but everything seems to be fine. It's towing well, but I just know that there's a bit of a weight behind me, that's all. I don't know if this GoPro picks that out, but that's a hell of a rainstorm there ahead of me, off to just where the sun is peeking out behind that great big huge cloud. Woo! Stormy weather! Now the other vehicles travelling this road are these grain trucks. They're all heading down to Albany to put the contents of their trailers into the big silos for offloading onto the ships. This is actually the wheat belt country up here now that we're in. First coffee break. And just as I did that, it started to rain. That'd be right, rain. Well, I'm about, I think 50 k's outside of Lake Grace or wherever. And I'm just stopping for my first coffee break, and I'm just checking everything out as I go. I know I'm carrying a fair bit of weight here, or it feels like it anyway, because the old beast is feeling it. However, it's going fine so far. The only drawback is this weather, because it's really iffy. Okay, this is the Nyabing Pingrup Road. Karen's telling me that. Lake Grace is 66.
Continue for 17 kilometers. Continue on the Nyabing Pingrup Road.
Thank you, girls. I actually have 3 GPSs today. Not taking any chances. Well, we've just topped up the tank in Lake Grace at the Liberty service station at $2.26 a litre. Thank you to Mr. Vlad the Impaler in Putin for creating all this ructions in the world's economies with his war on the Ukraine. Anyway, we're full up. That'll get us to Kalgoorlie. I just wanted to see how much this is making. So now we'll continue on through to Narrabeen. There looks to be some quite heavy showers out to the left of me as we drive along this road towards Narrabeen, Coolin Narrabeen, and it's probably heading from left to right as we look at the screen. So I'm beginning to wonder whether it might be a wet campsite this evening. Looks like I'm heading right into this rain. moment.
In 2 kilometers, turn left on Cullen Lake Grace Road.
Karen's having kittens telling me turn right on Cullen Lake Grace Road, and I am. Right, here it is here, Karen. Are you happy now? You've been up here before. There's no need to tell me all the time.
Continue on the road.
Okay. Well, I seem to have come out of the rain showers for the time being. As we can see, we've got a big patch of blue sky right ahead of us, but clouds in the distance. Da-da-da-da. Well, once again, we're on the Tin Horse Highway. There's the sign. This is the highway where all the farmers have put out their sculptures out of all their scrap materials. Anyone who's interested, you can pick it up on another video of mine from the another Aussie Adventure. Google Maps love to take me up this particular little track. It's called the Taran Rock Road, and it's gravel, and it links up with the
Continue on Taran Rock Road.
Williams Condinan Road. Now, apparently I can go straight through. I have been directed once or twice up this road to turn left at that intersection there, but we'll just continue through and make up on or merge with the road. This road is actually the hypotenuse of a triangle, because off to the left, in the distance, we can't see it, is the Williams Condinan Road, and had I continued on with that the tarmacked road, it would have taken me out, but I probably would have done about 4 or 5 k's or more, and then turned right instead of cutting across at an angle, which is what this road does. Here's a local resident. Friendly people, they wave. Okay, now we have this little kick in the road. And here is the main road here. So now we've got dust all
Turn
over
right
the new
on
train.
Williams Condinan Road.
Thank you, Karen. Right. Ooh. I've got a dirty trailer now. Well, we're passing through Condinan again.
Turn left
Condinan.
on Borden Street.
No, Karen, we're not going down that street. We're just going straight ahead to Narrabeen.
Turn right on Borden
No,
Street. Then
Karen.
take the first right.
Leave me alone. I know I said that I want you to take me to Condinan, but you said the centre of the town, and I said no, keep going.
Turn right on Stone
No,
Street.
Karen,
First right.
are you going to listen? GPSs, they want to take over. Here's a big oversized one. Well folks, there's been a little development in this trip. I'm about 100 k's, or was 100 k's from the campsite, but I've been having issues with this vehicle, my Nissan. I put it down to the wind. I couldn't get any power out of it to speak of. And I put it down to the wind and the fact that I'm towing a fair load, a 1.5 ton camper van. But as I got onto the highway, I could not get it above 2,000, 2,200 revs, no matter what I did. And when I pulled up and had a look, it's blowing black smoke, and it's just had the oil changed and the filters changed. So I've decided that I'm heading home because I can't continue on like this with a vehicle that will only do 70 kilometers on a highway, which the speed limit is 110. So I've decided I'm going home, forget this trip, and I'm going to put the car in, get it serviced and looked at, because I suspect there's something not quite right. It could be injectors, it might even be faulty fuel for all I know. So, but I'm not willing to take the risk, and I thought, I'm 5 hours or so out from home, just turn around and go back. So that's what we're doing. So I'm sorry if I've disappointed some of you people, but we'll get back there. I just have to phone the national parks people at Karajini and say, hey, by the way, I won't be there, and they're not going to give me a refund for my campsites, but that doesn't matter. It will go to a good cause. They might save a kangaroo or something. Anyway, I'm on my way home now, and you watch. I'll bet I won't have any issues at all. That's the way life is. Well, we may as well do the thing in reverse, I guess, and so we'll call this one the aborted trip to Karajini. See, I can't get any, I got no power coming when I put my foot down, and there's black smoke blowing the shitter out the back of the thing. So I'm assuming
turn right on Hicks Road.
That there's something a little bit wrong with the diesel engine. However, I won't know that until I put it into the mechanics and say, go over it and tell me what's what, and then they'll give me a humongous big bill, and I'll cry and say, oh shit, didn't expect that. But anyway, that's life, as I say. So every now and again I'll flick this onto the roads and we'll see where we've actually come from today. I can barely get 60 kilometers per hour out of it right now. This could be a very long drive home. going downhill. But by crikey, when it's really struggling, and I've got to keep lifting my foot off the accelerator. This could be major.
In 2 kilometers, turn right on the next road.
When I was at that rest stop there just before, when I decided to do a U-turn, I actually did check the oil, and the oil, it's burning oil, obviously. It's burning a little bit of oil with that black smoke coming out of the back. But it was certainly full, because I made sure it was full before I left today. And the only other thing I can think of is that it's an EGR valve that's absolutely clogged full of shit. But I don't know. Now it's going fine. It's doing 2,500 revs, and it's 100 kilometers per hour. So probably if the car thinks, oh yeah, I'm going home, I don't have to work anymore. Bloody lazy Nissan. Anyway, I'll keep you posted. I'm still chugging along, and according to the Google Maps, I've got 405 kilometers still to do. And I'm traveling at about 80 kilometers per hour. I'm just below 1,700 and something revs, no power whatsoever, and I have to keep tweaking the throttle because I don't really know what this is. Maybe there's some mechanics out there watching this who can give me some insight into what might be wrong, because it's just got no power. What else can I tell you? It jerks and it judders, and I put that down to the wind, but that can't be. I mean, it's almost like maybe even the clutch slips, but I don't feel that. It's a strange one. I had a funny feeling about this trip. I must admit, I haven't been as keen as I felt I should have been to be getting out again and going up north, and I really don't know what it is, but there was just something in the back of my mind thinking, this is not, I'm not as keen. Somebody asked me, Kay's sister asked me the other day, are you all excited? And I said, well, to be quite honest with you, I said, I'm not. It's just a ho-hum, I'll go and do it again. But maybe that's what it is. Maybe we're both tired. The Nissan's tired and I am. Who knows? I'm going down a hill here and I'm up to 2250 revs. And it's at 100 kilometers per hour. But as soon as I hit a hill, it jerks and it judders and it doesn't want to pull. And all the time I'm sort of just trying to tweak the throttle very gently backwards, let it back off and then just ease it back on again. And these cars have so many damn sensors in them that maybe there's something wrong with the module. I don't know, but you know, they have a CPU, a central processing unit. So maybe there's something up with that too. Could be anything. Hopefully my mechanics will be able to get to the bottom of it, but then I have to get the thing home first. Well, I just filled up with fuel and it's giving me a reading of 7.25 kilometers per litre, which is about what it normally would do if with a load like this, I guess. So I'm still perplexed because everything is reading normal. I don't have any warning lights on my dash. There's no codes coming up, and I just have this lack of power. And as I say, now I'm tootling along here. I'm just under 2,000 revs, and it's 80 kilometers an hour, and I can't get anything else out of it. I just cannot get any more speed. Now, I'm just wondering now if you know, maybe there was some contaminated fuel. I know in the old Land Rover I used to be able to unscrew a fuel filter and drag water off it. I don't know whether this thing even has one of those. I suppose it does. But there's all sorts of other things that could be happening. So I'm just puzzled. I'm over it. Let's say I'm over it. So my other GoPro has run out of battery. So keep your fingers crossed, because I still have 391 kilometers to go at an average of 80 kilometers an hour. That's about another 5 hours I've got to drive, and it's now 2:45, so it looks like 7:45, 8 o'clock before I get home tonight, if I can maintain. Oh, see, there it is, it's jerking and juddering again. I've just got to back off the throttle a little bit and just try and keep it smooth. There could be all sorts of things happening in that little engine. Anyway, I may say goodbye now. If anything happens untoward, I will turn this back on, but let's just say I'm going to say thank you for watching, goodbye, and I'll let you know what happens at the end of it. Well, progress report. I'm 299 kilometers from home. I've done 98.4 kilometers since I fueled up at wherever it was. I can't remember the name. It's still juddering and poking, and I can only now get about 1750 revs out of it. So there's something drastically wrong here. Anyway, according to the estimate, I still have about 4 hours to go to get home at this current rate of knots, which is dropping down. I'm currently doing about 75 kilometers per hour, so work that out, 375 k's an hour, 150, it's 3 hours. Shit. Anyway, I'm pressing on regardless, hoping that this thing will stay together until I get home. I guess I don't have to tell you how stressful this is. I'm constantly now watching the rev counter, and there seems to be a very, very narrow band in which I can keep the revs going and keep the car moving. It's varying between 1500 and 1750 on upward slopes. Now I'm going down, and of course the momentum with this trailer behind is pushing the vehicle along, so you pick up a bit of speed. But not knowing what's causing this, it's almost like either the clutch is slipping, the gearbox is slipping, or holding itself back, or there's a cylinder gone in the engine. I'm not sure. And I mean, I'm just trying to play around with this, knowing, and you see every now and again it seems like it almost wants to die. And so I've got to be very careful at dropping it down a gear to keep the revs up while I'm watching the rev counter. I'm watching my rear vision mirror. Fortunately for me, I did pick the back roads, and there is very little traffic on it. So when I get to Albany in 284 kilometers, it should be very quiet at 8 o'clock on a Sunday night, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. My main concern, of course, is getting there at this particular pace. Well, I'm just coming into back into Lake Grace, and from Lake Grace I have 255 kilometers to go, and currently at this speed which has dropped down to 70, that will get me in now at, according to the GPS, 8:24 instead of, I was originally clocking in at about 7 o'clock. So we've gone out by an hour and a half, and that'll probably go out even further. And now somebody's just pulled into my path. I had this momentum going. Anyhow, Oh, it's a stop sign. Christ, that's all I need. A stop sign. The big difficulty here is getting this thing going again because I've got no revs. Okay, coming to a stop sign, looking for cops. I don't care. Oh yeah, there's obviously somebody coming. Okay, hang on to your hats, folks. Nobody coming. Righto, I stopped. Keep going. Keep going. Through here. You can hear how sluggish this engine is. It's just not responding at all. Anyhow, enough of my woes. I'll get back to you. And of course the sun is now going down. I can see it over that side there on the horizon, and it's just about dipping below, so that adds to the stress levels again, because now I'll be driving in the dark, and I hate driving in the dark. And the other thing is, I've got two GPSs, one of which will turn itself down to a night mode, but the other one won't, and the one that won't is the one that I need to look at, because it's got way more data on it than the other one. Anyway, we'll press on. If there's one thing that'll come out of this, I won't get done for speeding, because I keep slowing down. I'll get done for loitering, probably. Loitering with intent on a highway. Well, at least one thing is going right today. I remarked earlier about these GPS machines and how one of them I thought wasn't going to go into sort of nighttime mode, and they've all gone into nighttime mode, so that's quite a pleasant surprise, really. So with that, I'm currently 218 kilometers from home. Touch wood, I'm having a good little spell here at 1500 revs, and we're doing 63 kilometers an hour. Wow. And I've got to keep my foot on a very, very small band of throttle. I can't, if I move it, it just judders and then stops. So I will let you know tomorrow how I fare. Anyway, at the moment, see you later. Well, I limped into Albany at about 10 minutes past 9 last night, and I just abandoned the car in the driveway. So it's the next morning. But I did some research, and apparently what this car has been suffering from, and it hasn't been confirmed, is there is a thing called an SCV valve, or a suction control valve, and it's to do with the fuel. And everything that I read on Google indicates that that is the potential problem. So I now have to get in line, I guess, with some mechanics here in town, and hand the vehicle over to them and see what they come up with, see whether I've done any other damage. But apparently what this suction control valve does is, if it detects a drop in pressure or something, or contaminated fuel, it puts the car into limp mode. And limp mode means that it will not rev above certain things, which is exactly what I was experiencing. So I'm going to be interested to find out. But at this stage, obviously the trip has been aborted. Everything else I'm going to have to cancel everything. So I don't know what my plans are for the future now. So thank you for watching, and maybe in the next video that I put out, whatever I'm going to do, I'll give you a recap.